Thank you. The same book. We already know the author is Robert W. Lucas, and it's the chapter for nonverbal communication skills. Nonverbal communication skills. We've done verbal communication. We're looking at nonverbal, and the book because learning changes everything, and it's the 8th edition. Customer service skills for success, and I owe no right on. It's already prepared slides, and my affiliation with Elite College. I'm just using it for educational purposes and all that. So let's go. We would look at defining nonverbal communication. We would talk about additional factors that send nonverbal messages. We'll look and explain the factors that we'll look at how gender can impact communication. We'll look at the effect of cultural nonverbal communication. We'll identify unproductive behaviors. We'll use a variety of nonverbal communication strategies, demonstrate specific customer-focused nonverbal behavior, and that's it. Nonverbal cues, constantly sending nonverbal messages to others, impossible not to communicate. Nonverbal messages can contradict or override words. We can tend to believe the nonverbal message, easy to misinterpret. So nonverbal cues, we say that constantly they send nonverbal messages to others, but sometimes it's impossible to communicate. What might mean the particular thing in one context might contradict the other. Nonverbal messages can contradict overall words. Receivers tend to believe the non-verbal message, easy to misinterpret. Now, nonverbal cues such as eye contact, at times even proximity smiling, and gesturing send powerful messages. What cues do you regularly send that impact the way customers perceive you and your organization? The scope of nonverbal behavior. We look at body language. So, body language, we say the interpretations are only an indicator of customers' true message meaning, influenced by background, culture, physical condition, communication ability, and many other factors. And then we look at eye contact, that is the pupillometrics. We have the pupillometrics, the length, the frequency of eye contact, and then the size of pupils sends a message. The facial expression can signal excitement, happiness, surprise, sadness, anger, disgust, and what have you. So all these are very, very important. So you look at all these facial expressions and they express different feelings. Okay, you already know this. Yeah. That one is the body language. Look at the posture, nodding of the head, often used to signal agreement or listening. And then we say, be careful not to overuse nodding, right? Then we have the paralanguage. So the posture, nodding, it's a posture. Then we have the paralanguage and then the gesture. For example, the use of the head, hands, arms, shoulders to accentuate verbal messages, and then can also send negative messages as well. So that's way of the paralanguage. So, for instance, positive, positive non verbal communication behavior, brief eye contact, eyes wide open, smiling, facing the customer, nodding affirmatively, expressive hand gestures, open body stance, listening actively, remaining silent as the customer speaks, gesturing with open hand, maintaining professional appearance, clean, organized work area. We negative like yawning, frowning, or sneering, attending to matters other than the customer, manipulating items impatiently, leaning away from the customer as he or she speaks, subdued or minimal hand gestures, crossed arms, staring blankly or coolly at customer, interrupting, pointing finger or object at customer, casual, unkempt appearance, disorganized, cluttered workspace. So the scope of nonverbal behavior. The scope of nonverbal behavior. The vocal cues, the pitch or influence, the pitch or inflection, sorry, the volume, the rate of speech, the voice quality. So that's the vocal cues, the pitch or inflection, the volume, the rate of speech, and then the voice quality are all very important when you want to consider, the vocal cues. Smiling. Simple non-verbal cues like smiling at a customer send powerful messages that a service provider is customer focused. How do you feel when a customer provider smiles at you? Vocal cues. Okay, so articulation, enunciation, or pronunciation. So pauses, interferences, verbal fillers, silence, semantics. Goal is to come across as intelligent and professional. Then we have the malapropism, and these are all very appearance and grooming is very very important because since um, much of professionalism or indifference. A sense much of professionalism or indifference is very, very, very important. So, appearance and grooming sends a message of professionalism or indifference, and then hygiene, basic to successful because it's a customer service person. If you smell bad, that is your nails, your hair, everything should be clothing and accessories on point. Should be well maintained and appropriate. Some employees take concept of casual to the extreme. Casual doesn't mean the extremely casual, right? It to be professional, but a little bit. You should wear what can at least attract customers and you need to smell good. Keep your face, everything. Special cues, also called proexems, non-verbal messages sent on basis of how close or far someone stands from. And intimate distance 0 to 18 inches, personal distance 18 inches to 4 feet, social and work distance 4 to 12 feet, public distance 12 or more feet. Intimate distance 0 to 18 inches, personal distance 18 inches to 4 feet, social and work distance 4 to 12 feet, public distance 12 feet or more. We have the environmental cues. Any aspect of the workplace with which a customer comes into contact sends message about you and organization. And then it contributes to the perception of an environment. All employees should take ownership, remove offensive items from the workplace. Miscellaneous communication cues, personal habit, time allocation and attention, follow through, proper etiquette and manners, color, emotional messages of color. Now, etiquette and manners can send powerful non-verbal signals about your professionalism and background by fine-tuning your basic dining and business etiquette skills. You can positively influence your customers. In what ways have you seen poor etiquette or manners in various situations influence your opinions of others? So, emotional messages of color, and then with that, we already know red stimulates and evokes excitement, passion, power, energy, intensity, can also indicate stop, negativity, financial trouble or shortage. Yellow, indicates caution, warmth, mellowness, positive meaning, optimism, cheerfulness. Yellow can also stimulate thinking and visualizing. Dark blue, depending on shade, can relax, soothe, indicate maturity and evoke trust and tranquility or peace. We have light blue, project a cool, youthful or masculine image. We have purple. Purple projects assertiveness or boldness and youthfulness, has a contemporary feel, often used as a sign of royalty, richness, spirituality, or power. Orange can indicate high energy or enthusiasm and what have you. So orange can indicate high energy enthusiasm as an emotional color and sometimes stimulate positive thinking. Brown, an earth tone that creates a feeling of security, wholesomeness, strength, support, and lack of pretentiousness. Green can bring to mind productivity, positive image, moving forward, going, comforting growth, financial. Gold and silver, we have prestige, status, wealth, elegance or conservatism. Pink for youthful, feminine. White contains all the colors of the color spectrum, typically used to indicate purity, cleanliness, honesty, wholesomeness. Is visually relaxing. Black, lack of color, creates sense of independence, completeness. So, you have to know all these as a service person, because emotional message of color, it's very, very important for you too. Then we have what we call gender communication. We have what we call gender communication. Now, with gender communication, we look at how we better understand nuances, increases your chances of providing customer satisfaction. Better understanding nuances increases your chance of providing customer satisfaction. Females often learn nurturing relationship skills early. Males tend to use an aggressive, competitive stance, differing rate of brain development, behavioral preferences, and what have you. Now, you see, between females and males, females claim small areas of personal space, cross arms and legs frequently, sit or stand close to same sex, use subdued gestures, touch more, nod frequently to indicate receptiveness, glance casually at watch, hug and possibly kiss both sexes upon greeting. You know, Males claim large areas of personal space, use relaxed arm and leg posture, sit or stand away from same sex but close to females, use dramatic gestures, touch males less, females more, nod occasionally to indicate agreement, glance, glance dramatically at watch, hug and possibly kiss females upon greeting, use subdued vocal inflection. Okay, so when we look at gender communication, we say we better understand that nuances. Females often learn nurturing relationship skills early. Males tend to use aggressive, competitive style, different rate of brain development, behavioral preferences. And then we've already talked about body and how men and women in North America, they behave. For instance, females use high inflection at end of statements, but males use subdued vocal inflection. Hug and possible kiss both sexes upon greeting females, but men hug and possibly kiss females upon greeting, right? So all these differences. When it comes to the vocal, females speak at faster rate, males speak lower at slower. When it comes to express more emotion, males express less emotion. Use more polite, requesting language, and then males use more command language. So we come to facial expression and the movement. You see that focus more on detail, more emotional and problem solving. That's females. Males show little variation in facial expression, focus less on details, analytical and problem solving. The cause and fixture. So these are more. So behavior. Females view verbal rejection as personal, but men do not dwell on verbal rejection. Females apologize after disagreement. Males apologize less after disagreement. They hold grudges longer, do not hold grudge. So all these are environmental. You say that use patterns in clothing. The good males use few patterns in. So all these things are Now, cultural diversity is having a significant impact on the work and the customer service environment. To be successful in working with a variety of people, you need to understand the impact of culture, learn about behaviors, habits, values, and beliefs from around the world. Unproductive non-verbal behaviors, unprofessional handshakes, fidgeting, pointing a finger or other object, raising an eyebrow, peering over top of eyeglasses, crossing arms or putting hands on hips, holding hands near mouth. Traditional palm-to-palm handshakes are used and expected in most Western business environments and in westernized business environment around the world. Have you ever been caught off guard when someone tried a different handshake version other than traditional palm-to-palm when you first met? How did that feel? So strategies for improving non-verbal communication. You seek out nonverbal cues. So if you want to improve nonverbal communication, you have to seek out nonverbal cues like the clusters. You confirm your perceptions, perception checking, seek clarity, feedback, analyze your interpretations of nonverbal cues. So the customer focused behavior, non-verbal behaviors you exhibit in the presence of a customer can send powerful message. So you stand up, if appropriate, you act promptly, you guide rather than direct, be patient with customers, offer assistance, reduce customer wait times, allow customers to go first, offer refreshment if appropriate, be professional. Courteous behaviors foster positive interactions. What does this photo depict? Image is enhanced. Employee customer communication improves. Word of mouth advertising increases. Employee morale, esteem increase. Complaints are reduced. Financial losses decrease. Customer loyalty increases. So, as usual, my girl, my girl held all the right of this PowerPoint. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you. We'll meet soon.